Hey guys, so I thought I'd make it a video today about what it's like looking for a apartment when you have a service dog and some of the things that you want to look for, things that might make it easier depending on also your disability, but also some good experiences and bad experiences that I've had. So when I first got Rowan, I was living in an apartment where I hadn't planned on having a service dog. I didn't know I was going to need a service dog at that time. So what I'll start out with is what some of the things were that were not ideal about an apartment that I found that I didn't have a service dog in mind for. So with my first apartment, it was on the top floor of this apartment complex. So it was 3 floors up, and one of the reasons I realized how much I needed a service dog and needed Rowan was how much I struggled with just getting up and down those 3 flights of stairs. It was a bad idea to live so high up somewhere that doesn't have an elevator. I think when we got the apartment, we were thinking it would be a lot quieter being on the top floor, which is what most people think. It's safer, it's quieter, you don't have anybody above you making noise. But unfortunately, when you have mobility issues, going up and down stairs like that all the time was a major problem. I mean, we had to take groceries up and down the stairs every time we went shopping. We had a laundry room that was pretty far from where our apartment was, and it was on the first level, so we had to walk up and down 3 flights of stairs with all of our laundry. And then when we did get Rowan, we had to walk up and down 3 flights of stairs to take her out to use the bathroom. So all of that was really rough on me. So when I moved, and Rowan was just finishing up her training, I found an apartment that first time. When I was looking for one with her in mind, I was blessed enough to find an apartment that had a small backyard attached to it. So not only did I make sure I found an apartment that was on the first floor, but I also made sure I found an apartment that I was looking for like a patio, a small backyard, or a small side yard or something like that. Some way where it'd be a lot easier for me to get her in and out to use the bathroom. Since I ended up with this apartment that had a small backyard, I had a sliding glass door out of the master bedroom that I was in at that apartment, and we were able to get you can order these, they're like sliding door inserts that have a doggy door attached on the bottom. So they're glass, just like your sliding door, glass and metal. And then they have a like doggy door flap attached on the bottom. So you kind of just put it between the actual part where you would normally close the door, sliding glass door against, and the door, so that the door can open and close. But then there's this small little part that takes up space that the door can close against, still unlock against, but has a little flap. So that was extremely convenient. So when I moved here to North Carolina, I was staying with a relative, and I was luckily in a room that was on the bottom level, so I could take Rowan in and out of my room through our garage to the backyard to use the bathroom all the time. So when I started to look for the apartment that I'm in now with my cousin, I let her know that there are certain things that I have to look for in order to make it possible for me and Rowan to be okay and to be able to function well. And for the fact that I was working from home, there had to be certain things as well that were going on. So I'll go ahead and like add some videos of showing like what these areas look like in the current apartment that I'm in now, and what kind of things that we were looking for. So the first thing was the apartment was going to have to be on the first floor. Like, it was very important that I didn't have to walk up and down any stairs to come in and out of the apartment, or to take Rowan out to use the bathroom. Multiple reasons for this. One, I have mobility issues, and whatever I can do to make my life easier, I'm going to try to do. Also, I know that now that I'm working again and I have insurance coverage again, there are quite a few procedures and surgeries that I need to start lining up to get done. And a lot of those kind of things will have requirements that you don't have to go up and down stairs. So I didn't want that to be any kind of issue once it came time to be able to do those surgeries and procedures and things like that I needed done. And then also I just wanted it to be easier for us to load groceries in and out, and just easier for us to move in and everything like that. So we made sure we were looking only at apartments that were on the first floor. It was important that we found an apartment that had a laundry machine already inside our actual apartment, or hookups for laundry, which we were able to find for this apartment. We got hookups for laundry, so we were able to get our own washer and dryer. That was important. You know, having a dog, dealing with shedding and bodily fluids from dogs, you need to be able to wash things as often as possible. And then just even to take care of myself and wash my own things, it needed to not be something that was so strenuous and extremely hard to do. So, you know, looking for things in the budget that have washer and dryer hookups, or already have a washer and dryer, or a must, and something I definitely suggest if you have a service dog, and especially if you have a mobility issue and you're using like a mobility service dog, to make it as easy as possible for you to get the little things done that you need to do during your week. The other thing that was important that we had to look for with an apartment was, like with the previous apartment that I had, I wanted to make sure I had not only were we on the first floor, but that I had some kind of patio. So rather than just having a balcony that's like barred in or fenced in, it was important that there was a place that I could just step out to where Rowan could go use the bathroom. So we were looking for, you know, trying to see if we could find apartments that had small backyards or yards attached to it, or some kind of side yard, or the type of apartment like we have now that has a patio that we can just step out to onto grass. You know, that's a large shared area in front of the apartment complex, but an area where it's really easy and simple just to let Rowan go out to relieve herself. I know some people are able to train their service dogs not to have to use the bathroom as often, but Rowan is prone to UTIs, so I have to take her out on an exact schedule every 4 hours, even in the middle of the night, no matter what, to help her not develop the UTIs as often. So it is important that I can easily, you know, no matter how I'm feeling, get up and take her to the bathroom, no matter how tired I am, no matter how much I'm in pain, no matter what hurts, that I can get up and take her out to use the bathroom to help take care of her and give her what she needs. So we were looking around for a long time, and finding a patio that leads out to grass is actually hard to find. Well, where it leads out and there's no kind of fence or anything in the way is actually pretty hard to find. So we were so happy when we finally found one. So I'll insert a picture in a video, but we were able to find one that just literally leads out to grass, and then from there is our car. So one of the things that was so great about this apartment that we found is that right in front of our patio and in front of the grassy area in front of our apartment is where we park. So we can just go from our car through the grass to our patio, and that's actually the door that we use. We rarely use our front door unless it's raining really hard or for some other reason. Like, people obviously come, when they come to visit us, they come to our front door, but or we do receive deliveries at our front door, but when we come in and out, we use the patio because it's so convenient, because we can park and literally 10 steps away is our door. So it's really, really nice that we were able to find something like that. So finding a first floor apartment with the patio or some kind of yard or something like that is a great thing to look for if it's something that you can find. The next thing that was really important was I needed to make sure I had an apartment that had a master bedroom with an attached bathroom. And this seems like something that's probably a luxury and not something that's needed, but there's multiple reasons why I wanted it to be that way. I wanted to make sure I had my own private bathroom that was something that only I used, or possibly something that if I had a guest would use, because honestly, like, financially, things are a struggle. You know, I didn't work for a while, I'm finally working again, and it's hard to even work the shifts that I'm working. So I have to take care of Rowan's grooming. I have to do all of her grooming. I can't afford to take her to get professionally groomed somewhere. So it was important that I have a bathroom where I can bathe her in the shower without it bothering someone else. Like, it's understandable for people who don't have pets or who aren't extreme dog lovers. or it's not their pet, the thought of a dog being washed in the shower or bathtub that they bathe themselves in, it is gross to them. You know, I mean, it's not to me, but I completely understand it is for other people. And in my previous living situation, Rome was only allowed in our basement area that I was in, my basement like room studio that I was in. And then outside. So to bathe her, I actually had to bathe her outside with like a water hose, which is something I knew I was going to have to do when I moved there. I was just grateful to have a place to live. There was no room for having any kind of opinion on what I was and wasn't allowed to do. But I learned a lot from trying to do that. One, you know, I have a major heat intolerance, so I was so limited to when I could bathe her. If it was too hot outside, it would be a problem for me. If it was too cold outside, she would get way too cold, and there was no way for her to be comfortably bathed with a hose and shaking at the same time when she was cold. Also, water attracts bugs, so I would be bathing her and getting bit by mosquitoes and all kinds of other bugs, and I try to bathe her every week, if not every other week. She has some skin issues and needs like medicated dog shampoo regularly, so every week, every 2 weeks I bathe her. So it just wasn't possible for me to do it that often at my previous living situation, so her skin issues were getting a lot worse, and she, you know, it was just a little bit harder on the shedding and stuff like that when I'm not able to keep her cool and keep her bathed. So it was important that I was able to have a attached bathroom where I can bathe her, you know, put her conditioner on, blow dry her, do whatever I need to do, and still be keeping her confined where she's not, you know, running around getting everywhere wet and stuff like that. And then also knowing that it's my bathroom and I'm cleaning it and I know it's clean and I know how clean she is, and it's just not really intruding on anyone else's the privacy or what they're used to, or, you know, hygiene issues for other people. You know, it's important that you have, if you're not living alone, your own bathroom that you can take care of and groom your dog in as well, if that's something that you're able to do. The other thing that was important is that I was able to work out a situation with my roommate and my cousin that I live with, about like where I would feed her and put her food and things like that. And since I do have my own bathroom, I wanted to make sure it was one that had enough space where I could have her dog food and her dish and her feeding station and her water, stuff like that, in the bathroom as well. So finding one that's big enough to have the supplies and things that you need. You know, I have to use a shower chair and a detachable shower head because I can't stand long in the shower. So having a bathroom that is able to accommodate those kind of things was very important. And also being able to accommodate space for a seat to sit down, you know, while I'm at the sink to do my hair and things like that, because I can't stand for long. So, you know, just making sure there's space for you to be able to use the aids that you need to get through the things that you have to do with your everyday life. The other thing that was important is that although because she's a service dog, she's allowed in any apartment complex, even if it's like not a dog-friendly apartment complex. I wanted to find a complex that was dog-friendly because I wanted one, her being there not to be a novelty and attract too much attention, but I also wanted to have one that had a dog, like, because a lot of the dog-friendly apartment complexes now have dog parks inside. So I wanted to have one with a dog park inside so that, you know, if, you know, it's a day off and I have the energy and I'm feeling well and it's not too hot outside, you know, I can take her to the dog park and she can play and we could have fun. And in places that are dog-friendly, they also have, you know, the poop bag dispensers dispersed throughout the property, and the situation is more friendly to having dogs around because it's a dog-friendly apartment complex. So it's hard to be having all these things on this list of things that you need and things that you think are important, and on top of that you want it to be a dog-friendly apartment complex. So it is pushing it, because if you could find everything that you need but it's not a dog-friendly place, you can still obviously, you know, go there with your dog. Just have to have your doctor's note. For this apartment complex, they just asked for whatever paperwork I had possible, so I provided them with my doctor's note. And that was absolutely fine. My doctors note, I think they wanted her shot records to make sure she had her vaccinations up to date. So, you know, this is the dog-friendly apartment complex. They do normally charge, I think, a pet, like a pet deposit, but because she's a service dog, you don't have to pay a pet deposit with your service animal. So as long as you provide them with what they legally can ask for, something like a doctor's note, then you don't have to pay the pet fee. So you know, I was able to give them that information, and it's really nice because there's other people with dogs, other people walking their dogs, and there's a dog park, and there's the poop bag dispensers everywhere, and they've kind of made the apartment very dog friendly in a way where there are lots of grassy areas, lots of places for dogs to play and things like that. So that I find very helpful if it's already a place that's open to dogs, that likes dogs, and, you know, encourages you to, you know, have your dog and interact with other dog owners. I'm trying to think of what other things that might have been important as far as it coming to having a service dog with looking for an apartment. I can't think of anything else at this moment. So yeah, I hope you find this helpful if you have a service dog and you're looking for an apartment, or if you are considering getting a service dog or in the process of getting a service dog and you're wondering what kind of things you need to think about when it comes to the living situation. I hope this video is helpful to give you some ideas of maybe a list, which is what I did, create a list of like a checklist of things that are important for when you're just even looking for places to go visit, making sure that they meet certain requirements that you know are going to be necessary for you and your disability and your service dog. So if you guys have any other questions about other things to consider, or if you guys have any suggestions or things you want to add to some of the things that I mentioned that you think are important about places that you choose to live when you have a service dog, please leave them in the comments below. I look forward to hearing from you guys. Thank you for being here and being supportive and listening. To all of my fellow Spoonies out there, I love you guys, and I'm always thinking of you and praying for you and hoping you guys find strength and happiness. And almost most of all, to all of the Spoonie supporters out there, those of you who are supporting those of us who need help and who are struggling, those of you who don't even have health issues but are so empathetic and understanding to what we're going through, to all of you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You guys are so appreciated. All right, everyone, take care. Bye.